A love that burned too bright. The tragic tale of Colt and Larissa. It began like a dream, a digital romance between two strangers from opposite sides of the world. Colt Johnson, a quiet and awkward software engineer from Las Vegas, and Larissa Dos Santos Lima, a fiery, passionate woman from Brazil, found each other in the vast abyss of the internet. For Colt, Larissa was excitement, adventure, the kind of love he had always longed for, but never thought he deserved. For Larissa, Colt was a ticket to a new life, to the American dream, to something more. When they finally met in Mexico, their chemistry was undeniable. Within 5 days, Colt had slipped a ring onto Larissa's finger. It was impulsive, reckless, and beautiful in the way that only doomed love can be. A home that felt like a cage. Las Vegas should have been a fresh start, a fairy tale beginning. Instead, it became the battleground where their love would be destroyed. Larissa arrived expecting a life of luxury, but the reality was far less glamorous. Colt, a man of simple means, lived with his overbearing mother, Debbie, a woman who saw Larissa not as a daughter-in-law, but as a threat. Their home was small, suffocating, a place where privacy was a myth and tensions festered like an open wound. Larissa felt trapped. Colt, despite his love, could not or would not separate himself from his mother. And Debbie, ever watchful, ever suspicious, saw to it that Larissa was never truly welcome. The arguments began quickly. Money was tight, affection grew scarce, and Larissa's frustration boiled over. Where was the life she had been promised? Where was the romance, the passion? In her eyes, she had left behind everything for a man who refused to put her first. And Colt, wounded by her demands, withdrew further into himself, becoming colder, more distant. Love turns to war. What started as whispers of discontent became full-blown battles. The fights became louder, the accusations sharper. "You don't love me," she would cry. "You only love your mother." "You just want my money," he would counter. Neither of them knew how to stop the downward spiral. It was as if they were standing on a frozen lake, hearing the cracks beneath their feet, yet refusing to move. And then, inevitably, the ice shattered. The police came once, then again, then again. Larissa was arrested 3 times. Each time the bruises, real or imagined, became the subject of public scrutiny. Colt painted himself as the victim. Larissa painted herself as the woman scorned. The world watched, entertained by the spectacle, never seeing the real tragedy beneath the headlines. 2 people who once loved each other, now destroying each other piece by piece. The final blow, January 2019. Their marriage was in its final, gasping breaths. Another fight, another police call, another arrest. This time there was no turning back. Colt filed for divorce. The dream was over. Larissa, humiliated and broken, faced not just heartbreak but the looming threat of deportation. She had given up her home, her country, her dignity, all for a love that had chewed her up and spit her out. Colt, too, was left with nothing but the scars of a relationship that had burned too hot, too fast. Aftermath. Ghosts of a love-lost Larissa would go on to remake herself. Cosmetic surgery, OnlyFans, new relationships, trying to become the woman she had always wanted to be. But there was something hollow in her eyes now, something lost that she would never get back. Colt, ever the tragic figure, stumbled through failed romances, each one a shadow of the last, each one haunted by the mistakes he refused to acknowledge. And though their lives moved on, the wreckage of their love remained, a cautionary tale of desire, deception, and the simple truth that some fires are meant to burn out before they consume everything in their path. They were a love story. They were a tragedy. They were Colt and Larissa.